out there about the coronavirus, this and that. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. I'm mad because
Bryce McKinley here, Coach Sharp, and I'm in the middle of a cold call for you.
I stay at home and work remote. I always do that. But man, I'm like, God, dog. You know, my whole thing was just is like, okay, let's get businesses and get this stock market back together. Yeah. But like you say, your business, real estate, investment, real estate is one of the sectors that's been making money hand over fist here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your business. I know, you know, I've been approached before. I sold another one of my properties maybe 2 years ago, and I had an investor like your group approach me, and you know, I didn't. For what I was just, I guess maybe I was in a bind. I wasn't really in a bind. I don't know. You know, but I sold the property, and of course they sold it for triple as much they gave me for it, and I lost money on it. Wasn't even thinking about it. But anyway, it's in the Galleria area, up the 635 Lunchroom area. So I'm familiar with the you know, of course you get, you know, because you guys gonna put it, make it nice, and is have your crew already, you know, go in and they turn the turnkey real estate in 1 or 2 weeks, just like that. So you got a crew that work for you too that does the renovation.
I do, and I'm glad that you said that, you know, because at the end of the day, I understand you want to get as much as you possibly can, and heck, for the same reason, I want to give you as much as I possibly can. So I work a little differently, and to be frank with you, that's what most of my clients like. You know, I mean, you got the pleasure of speaking with Chris, and you can kind of see where our head's at. We want to make sure that we do what's going to be a win-win. So we do a little bit of everything to answer your question in a direct manner, right? Like we buy, we hold, we fix, flip, we wholesale occasionally. Matter of fact, your property there, are you living at those condos over there, you and your wife?
No.
Oh, okay. Your son lives there.
27-year-old son. And then I'm like, okay, boy, it's time you're going to get out on your own. I told him, I said, and, you know, because of him, I can't move. And I know when I talked to Chris, he said, we can move fast on this. But then a week so, if we put together some offers you like, you know, how soon you'd be able to move. And I told him it would be at least 30 days because my son, I got to get them heads up on getting him a place and getting it. So, you know.
Yeah. Does he need help finding something, or does he know where he's going?
Well, no. He hadn't even. I gave him heads up. I said, look, well, you got to start looking, because one of my options was, Bryce, that turn him into a renter. You know, work with investors, doing it, renovating it. You know, turn him into basically a renter. Or it's like, hey, if you can find you a place, you know, less than what there's a big go for it. So I'm not sure he knows where he's going, but he's probably gonna need some help putting them around. If you got other properties that y'all trying to get people into, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. One of the things, to kind of go back to your first question, what we do, I also own a brokerage. And so if I can help him find a place, I mean, that's a win-win-win all the way around. And right now, heck, at 27, if he's never owned a home, this is the best time to buy, because prices are dropping and they're going to shoot back up here over the next 9 to 12 months. And he's going to walk into a house with a whole bunch of equity. And what we like to do on our retail side is we go into the closing table negotiating a lot of things. You know, page 2 of a HUD, most people don't read it because they got 30 other pages to sign. Well, page 2 at the very bottom, you can check a little box, and they've got, if they're going to ever resell that loan, they'll never resell it within 24 hours, and it gets locked in at a rate that you've agreed on. You know, most people don't know stuff like that, and hell, most realtors don't know that. So those are the things that we do differently than anybody else. And so if I can help your son grab a place right now while it's the best time to do so, I've got a bunch of agents on the conventional side too that can help him find a place. So if he wants to rent, we can do that too. That's no big deal. But I'd say buy now while low rates and prices are easy to negotiate. You know what I mean? Because we don't technically know what's going to happen. I'm in it for the long run. So that's kind of, where I'm at. So, but if you've had that place for any length of time, which is, I'm curious, how long have you owned that condo over there?
Man, I bought the thing at least 5 years ago, I guess.
5 years ago. Okay.
5 years ago.
So you remember that big fire then?
Yeah.
You remember that big fire over there?
No, it didn't hit over there. You know what? When you go on it back in over there,
Yeah.
I was noticing, I don't remember when it happened, but I did go on it back in. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That's a big ass complex. I realized that big. So I went back there, man, and back there, I'm like, holy shit, they was rebuilding and shit, man. It looked like the unit had turned on fire. They was rebuilding. I was like, whoa. I had never been back there. It went all around that parking lot. I never went, because I stayed, my place is right there. As soon as you come in the front where the guard check, you're overlooking the entrance right there. So I'm right there and I never went back there. I'm like, the school was right across. I had no reason to go back there.
Yep. So you remember those big white trucks, that were parked out there? You asked me if I had my own crew. Those big white trucks that was parked out there for 6 months right there next to the guard check, those were mine. I own half that complex already. That's why we were excited when you called us off our ad, so it's like anytime we can. I wish I could buy the whole thing, but they're all individually owned, so we have to make do with what's due. But that complex, what you see there, that work, that's us. So we definitely know that complex better than anybody. And so that's what kind of got me excited. And when Chris was talking to you, I'm like, well, let me talk to you, because Chris does a lot of our stuff virtual. He's not here local in Dallas, but he's over in Louisiana, and so. But yeah, I was excited when he said he got a hold of you and you called in.
You're definitely familiar with that area, because there was one guy, a Chinese guy there, and there was another guy. Some guys invested, and I was trying to buy from them. There's a Orilla guy there that had like 4 or 5 of them right there in the section where I was. So come to find out, I was over there a couple of weeks ago and talked to a girl that moved into the unit that he was trying to lease. She said, "Oh no, I bought it from him." So he sold, I think he had 3 or 4 of them in there.
Yeah.
So he ended up selling them, because the young millennials with those prices in there, they're looking to buy, which, they ain't looking at, hey, I can't afford a house, but I can afford a condo, a townhouse,
Yep.
But that's the market to them. But it has to be already turnkey, ready to move in, and and the unit I got really doesn't need any number of cosmetic stuff. But you could, put new carpet upstairs or wood floor. It's wood downstairs and then wood. It can't be wood. I would put wood all upstairs. I'm thinking about doing. I was looking at it. I don't know, with about 5 to 10 at the minimum. I mean, you can really lavishly redo the kitchen, the cabinets, the counters. Probably do some little stylish stuff in the restroom. I just put a new tub.
Yeah.
2-3 grand. So
yeah, that's one of the things I was going to ask you about. So I'm glad you started off on that conversation. I'm curious, at the end of the day, what most of my clients find is, they've got questions about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, but more importantly, how much we can offer for their house, and so you having those same types of questions, I'm always curious, help me understand why you're thinking about selling the house today.
Just because it's cost me money. It's cost me the HOA dues, taxes, and I'm not even living there. Like just my damn son living there, they don't even pay rent. It's costing me money, so I'm not kick his butt out there and say, look, it's time you have to get on your own. You don't realize what this is.
We love our kids, and I appreciate you sharing that with me, but it definitely sounds a little frustrating. Tell me, what you said there's an HOA. How much do you pay? Because I know every one of those units are different. So you've had it a little longer than a lot of those newer guys.
Somewhere around the 250 mark. They're somewhere in 230, 250, but mine is 250.
Okay. Yeah, there's every one of them's different. It's stupid, but so you're at 250. Yeah. You got the 247 with the variable on there, or is it right at the 250 locked in?
Right about the 2. No, I think it's a variable contract.
Okay.
I just pay $250. They will take care of it. Sometimes under it's stupid the way like they do it. I guess it's based on if it's 2-story unit or what. I don't know, but I know the HOA. Guess they've been. I don't know.
Well, here I'm glad I asked. I'm glad I asked. Most people won't tell you this because it's not none of their business or profit, but I want you to know this. When we close on this house, you're going to have a surplus in the reserve. So make sure you go back through your paperwork to see what you've overpaid. If you've been paying $2 or $3 every month over, you know, to make it even, because I do that too on some of my properties, you'll have a reserve in there. And just make sure you get your paperwork together and figure out approximately what that is, and then you can fill out a request to get that back. But it definitely sounds like a place I'm interested. You know, this is where it gets ugly. You started telling me about the property, carpet, kitchen updates, things like that. When was the last time you did any sort of major updates or upgrades on the place?
I haven't since I moved there. It's just, it was in good shape when I moved there, so it has to be replaced. Not even until a lot of the, you know, since it's external wood, with it unit with still contemporary, a lot of the wood, I don't even redid the external wood and the color.
Wow.
Since it's been built, so mine didn't have no ride-out wood on it and stuff. It never did. But I have not did anything to it. It has still original plants in there. So, I'm saying all those cosmetic upgrade stuff like the cabinets, cabinets and marble tile, and, you know, new appliance, you know, I mean, stuff like that. You just wanna, if you want, you know, of course you would do it because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
But I hadn't did anything.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely going to have to update those appliances. Are they the original ones when you moved in?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, we're original. You know how old it is? I think it was built in the 80s something.
Yeah.
Those units were built in the 80s.
So you got a gas stove in there now?
Oh no, I got electric.
You did, okay. So somebody's changed it out since the original one then. Okay.
Yeah, since the original one, it was changed out when I bought it.
Okay. Well, Rodney,
But no, yeah, it's electric.
Okay. I appreciate that. You know, at the end of the day, I can't work with everyone, and I'm picky about who I work with. I know you shared with me a little bit about you need some time for your son to find a place, and I'm perfectly okay with that. There's no reason to hurry as long as we can come to agreement on some terms. So let me ask you, what exactly, other than the time, are you looking for when you sell this house today? That way I know if we're a good fit and I can truly help you.
Well, you know, just kind of reasonable price, you know, because like I said, once I get my son squared away, that's the damn thing's wide open. Cause you know, he works for Amazon, so he
start making some deposits and not withdrawals. That's what I'm hearing. Is that right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I can appreciate that. I'm curious. So I know that you told Chris you'd probably be around like what, 40, 45. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like to go back and forth. I'm curious, if I gave you cash today, what's the absolute lowest amount you'd take for the place?
I would be looking at somewhere in that 45 range. I was looking at some of the resale value. Well, some are selling, you know, they're, you know what the value are. I don't even talk about they 670, but some people, I even see them some in 80, but somebody did some map and work it to them already, you know, renovated them. I was like, but yeah, so more middle, you know, I've been looking at that about 45 or so, something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm curious, where do you come up with that number?
You know, I break even on what I pay.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be able to, I mean, that's breaking even. That's not even making nothing. I'd like to get what I had it on the market for up there at, I think it was Refi site or something. I had it on the market for like 70. had people calling me. I'm like, oh well, maybe I like this minimum for break even because I really like it business. Because one option I was looking at my son, I said, look, you want to buy this from me or find your own place?
Yeah.
And he, that was the opposite. Look, if you don't want to, I'm gonna have to do something.
How long ago was it that you had it on the market?
I don't know. Now, I mean, maybe a year ago. All I did was just post it at one site. I didn't really have it, I did it.
Well, I don't think, I mean, I just ask, I don't think you're too far off. It sounds like you tried to for sale by owner, and the reason why nobody went serious at that price is just because, with the updates and the upgrades, by the time you either move into it yourself, you're breaking even, or, someone like myself, I think you could probably get 65 to 70 on the retail market. But then by the time I pay get 70, and I pay a realtor and I pay closing costs twice, and I put, 10, 15 into it, because you're talking appliances. I mean, heck, that's $4 or $5 grand nowadays. It's
10 or 15. I look at least 10 at a minimum, but bare minimum for them. But like I said, appliances, the refrigerators, cabinets,
Yeah.
If I do that kind of work, I probably can demand. I can ask for that, but it has to be, not immaculate upgraded, but totally, I would do the upstairs, make it all wood in there, all the upgrades, and all that stuff.
Have you ever done a rehab and done wood floors yourself?
No, I haven't. That was one of the things one thing about the other business.
Hey, you guys, as you come in, I appreciate you keeping yourself on mute. I got a lead that took a little longer to talk to, and I'm live streaming already, so we're gonna try and lock it up. He's right in my numbers too.
And that's why I was wondering, like, okay, what, I mean, no, I've never been, but I've always, I thought about that on this particular unit. I thought about doing some, if I renovate this thing and then put it out there, but like you say, and I had money 6 months ago, and when I had money to do it, just go put in 15 to it, and get what I can. I had a guy that did some renovation that actually had this unit and redid it, and I liked the way he did it. I saw his work, so I had a guy from give me up. So I thought about that, but then I was like, let's have so let me get,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a smart guy, Rodney. I mean, your numbers are right on the money. The thing we haven't taken into consideration is hardwood throughout, excuse me, and new appliances. I already took into consideration a make ready, right? Clean the carpets, paint, fix some fixtures, make the fixtures look like 2020 and not 1920. At the end of the day, dollars got to make sense. And you add, the $5 grand for appliances on top of that 10 to 15. Now you're at 15 to 20. Plus that hardwood floor is actually going to take it a little higher. And when you look at the other ones out there that are selling at retail, they've all got updated appliances, hardwood, countertops, cabinet, reface, things like that. So realistically, I'd be right there at 20 to 25. So we're not too far off. So, you're at 45. I'm right there, probably 35 to 40. So I don't think we're too far off. I guess my question for you is, do you want the good news or the better news?
The good news.
Well, the better news is I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, and heck, I'll pay for an inspection before we sign anything. The good news is I think we can do your number, or at least get very close to it. So my question for you is, when would be a good time to get my guys out there, take a look at your property? I can do tomorrow afternoon, like 3, 4 o'clock.
I can't make any moves on the weekend. Saturday or Sunday is going to be best for me, Bryce. I can't during the week. I'm over. I live over in Grapevine.
You're in Grapevine? Well, my guy would be coming from your neck of the woods anyway, so maybe we make it a race and see who gets there first. What do you say?
Yeah, that's a journey. My doctor's office is over at the Baylor Mesquite.
Whew, that's a drive.
I have to go there. Yeah, that's a journey, man. It takes. I'm like, God, dog. I'm like, man, that's going from here all the way over to 35. You know how that gets.
Yeah.
Rolling and the speed. What the hell, God, dog. But I'm like, man, I need to change it. I've just been my doctor for years.
Well, we can do this. Why don't we do this? Your son's 27, so it's not like he's some teenage kid that's not irresponsible, you know. Why don't we do this? Why don't you call your son, and this is my cell phone. You shoot me a text back and say, hey, he can be available, and that'll save you a trip. My guy only needs about 5 minutes. He's going to take 2 or 3 pictures just to verify everything that we talked about, and within 12 hours or less, I'll shoot you over an agreement and put everything we talked about in writing. Is that fair?
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, let me check, get a hold of my son and see what's his schedule, because he works for Amazon. So sometimes he'll work.
Ooh, he's busy.
Shift, and then he's at that he'll do the late shift. So I got to see what he'll rotate.
Okay.
I guess he likes to do the early. But yeah, let me find out, because between me and him, I can, even during the week, if I like to get over there before 3 o'clock, because get over there, get through North Dallas. That's the only thing I hate about this, that dirt traffic.
Let me ask you this. I'm willing to go to the high end of my number, sight unseen, if you let me wrap it up today. And if we have to do the inspection later, I'm okay with that, as long as you give me the opportunity to say, hey, if it's worse than what you said, then we back out and we go a different direction. Otherwise, you give me your email and I'll just send you a contract right now. That way we can get the HOA started. That's probably the hardest part of this whole thing, getting those papers back and everything else from them, because title will go easy. We'll find your son something. That's the easy part. But getting that HOA assignment and paperwork, that's going to be the hardest part of this whole thing.
Yeah, that definitely is going to be the painful part.
Okay.
So yeah, put some numbers. When I talk to Chris, we're going to go back and, we expect to go, got to go till we get to
So I'm at 35, you're at 45. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll split the difference. I'll hit you right there at 40, and I'll send over an agreement. You said give your son a couple weeks, 30 days or so. I'll even make it easier on you. If he gets out sooner, great. If not, hey, no big deal. And we can go ahead and just close sooner. So today's the 26th. The 26th next month is on a Sunday, and I don't do anything on the Lord's Day. So I'll close on the 27th. And if he gets out sooner, we can always close sooner. How about that?
Well, let me talk to him. I need to talk to him first. Tell him I've been giving him warning. I want to make sure. Now, do you have a website where you got, like you said, you can help us get into other property? Do you have a site with your property listings or something? Do you keep them at a site, or you just keep them tucked away to spreadsheets or where?
It just depends, because we turn so much property so often. It really just depends on when he's ready, what he's looking for, and what he wants. I mean, I could show you a whole bunch of pictures, but the website's never up to date. So it's really, we got access to the MLS now that we own a brokerage. So, I would just assume you have that conversation with him and make sure he doesn't get all pissed off at dad because dad's kicking him out, 1, and 2, So you got my cell phone number. Just why don't you have a conversation with him tonight and shoot me over a text with your email, and I'll put together something in writing for you. How about that?
Okay, yeah, let me have a conversation. I can look over it, and then, like I say, kind of like I say, bare minimum, just trying to break even, basically.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from on the investment, because none of these kids get it to where you can.
What's your email, Rodney?
My email is Robinson boy, sbcglobal.net. So it's RB.
I got it. I got it. Perfect. At sbcglobal.net. Here's what I'll do. I'll type this up for you. I've got another call here anytime. They're going to be calling me. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'll type this up and then I'll give you a call back and walk you through it and answer any questions you have. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Okay.
Hey, Rodney, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, see if you can't get a hold of him between now and then.
All right, great.
Hey, I appreciate you. God bless. I'll talk to you real soon. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you. God bless. All right, have a good one.
Yes, sir. Take care. And that's how you one call close, baby. I'm just excited to start this call with you guys on that note, because that was a deal one of my acquisition person teed up, and I told him I would call him. So my man Chris, we got a deal, bro, and we got about $5,000 less than what he wanted. So it's just a matter of seeing when his son, or how long his son needs to move. So I'm losing my voice, but I'm excited to be on here with you guys. You know what time it is. It's Thursday, Q&A, role play, stump the coach, whatever it is. You guys are in charge. How's everybody's day going? Take yourself off mute, chime in, let's go.
Excellent.
Good.
It's going well.
Good, good. Amanda,
Going well.
Z, Minion.
Hey, I'm
Go
here
ahead.
too.
What's up, Ida?
I'm okay. I've been quarantined for 2 weeks. I'm going crazy.
Welcome to our world. We
Me
do this
too.
all day.
Well, I'm going more crazy. Shit.
I freaking love you guys. I am, trying to do 20 things at once. Usually it's 10 after, we're going live. What's up, Mike Chang, Pat Tanner? Thank you guys for jumping in here. Who else is having a fantastic week? Tony, I see you're off mute. Come on, bro.
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, man.
Kids are here, and so they don't wake up too early. So have some time to do some business before they get up, things like that. But having a good week.
I love it. I love it. Brian Cohen outside. What are you doing, bro? Changing oil? Got the grill started. Shannon's grilling. I love it. A little jealous. Brian's changing oil. Larry Lee, what are you up to this week, man? How's your week going? Nobody can hear you, bro. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, man.
What up, guys?
McLean, you know what time it is. Click the link and jump in, man.
McLean's about to get paid big time.
Yeah, is he at a closing?
No. We have a closing supposed to be this week, but it's gonna be next week, hopefully.
Okay.
We got the Asian connection going on right now.
That Asian persuasion. I like it.
Hey,
Can
so
I
guess
just
what,
say
man?
one? What's that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just called title about that memorandum contract, and I found out that the buyer is not the moms, it's somebody else.
Woo! Now your fee just went up, bro.
Hey, I was feeling bad all day, but hey, I'm good now.
So here's how that conversation happens. Knowing everything that I know from earlier conversation today, this is how that conversation needs to go. This can go really good for you or really bad for you. Which way would you prefer it? What do you mean? Well, we're all probably thinking, I want what's best, right? And so I want to be able to make this transition as smooth as possible for you. And I know that you do too. And so here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to release this lien on your property because you lied to me. And I put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and money into processing title, talking to my business partners, distracting their day and them losing money. And so originally I would have just taken $5,000 and walked away for my time, but now it's 10. And so when you pay me 10 grand, I'll release that. Otherwise, you go ahead and sell it to me like we originally agreed on, and you be a woman of God like you said that you were, and keep your end of the deal. That's how I would present that. Because you know what, as a Christian, I don't like fake Christians. Don't tell me you're a Christian to my face and then stab me in the back. And if you want to play that card, I'm going to play it against you. And that's what I would say, Larry.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, at the end of the day, God was about getting his paper too. Look at what he did with the three sowers, right? You went and buried my money when you could have went and made multiples out of it. And for that, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
I've got a responsibility to my business and my family and the people that I serve. And you use this method over here to lie, cheat, and steal from all of them. So what up, McLean? I see you, bro. Thank you, man, for jumping in. I miss your face. I love your energy, bro.
Hey, what's up? I was gonna say, yeah, I was jumping on here whenever Larry was representing the Asian persuasion team over here. Yeah, my boy came in clutch on this house in Plano. It's, what is it, a week and a half for coming out on, Larry?
yeah.
So I went and locked up the contract, and like 2 minutes later, Larry shows up with the buyer, and they're like, "Yep, we want it."
Nice.
Nice. Man, it's amazing.
Fantastic.
Drive-through.
Yeah, you guys are drive-through, right? Yeah. Everybody's
Yeah.
6 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was before that.
How'd you get the bar so quick?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
How do we get the buyer so quick? So, Bryce, do you want me to go back to like how I found the deal or no? Because I can just shorten it.
Completely unethical, so we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, my method is not the only way. It's just the best way. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Please
okay.
tell us about it.
So it was a text blast, and I'd stacked the list off of PropStream. It was a lien on the property, and it was housed like 1990 and older, less than 2,000 square feet. And this lady was on a list because she had a credit card lien of $7,000 on her house, and the list was so small. It was like 50 people, and I did a text blast, and she texted me back like middle of February, like, "Yeah, I'm ready to sell." And I got on the phone with her. She was like, "Yeah, I'm good to go." Built the rapport with her. She was like, been in business for 30 years, had a terrible back pain. She was like, I can't do anything right now. Let me come back to it. So we had like 2 weeks there where she was just kind of like, "Hey, I'm not physically able to go to the property." So I was able to leverage Larry and go, "Hey, do you have any buyers out in Plano? Because that's a new territory for me." And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Give me the address. Like, we'll lock this up same day and assign it the same day." And we just kind of coordinated the movements on that.
Look at God.
Collaboration right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's exciting. Thank you for sharing that, McLean. Yeah, Larry's doing some interesting things, man. He's got a couple solid buyers right there, Plano, Al, and McKinney. So if y'all got deals in Plano, Al, and McKinney, call Larry first because he can move it. So
If y'all get Larry a bowl of pho, then
McLean, that's fucked up. Larry, did you like my bowl of pho? Like there was no soup in it. It was like meat and vegetables. Kathy was making fun of me.
it's a meat lovers.
I know, right?
Look good.
Yeah,
It was too homemade.
Yeah, you can't beat that, man. I made a whole pot of fun. I was gonna invite you guys, and all of a sudden my nephew gets the flu, and then the corona comes around. Like, man, everybody stay away.
Yeah, so you know what he does in our Bible study group? He sends everybody pictures of it. This guy.
Not even
This
right
guy.
on so many different levels.
Mhm.
What's
Gotta
that,
motivate
Mike?
you somehow.
That's just not right on so many different levels. You know.
I know, right?
Got good food there. You know, like we're hungry people.
I got you, Mike.
Dinner time.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. I've got a favor to ask because we haven't talked about results in a while on this Q&A. And I'm curious, what has been like, we're going to open this up for questions. We're going to role play if you guys need it. I know Gazim sent me some leads that we're going to call tonight. I'm kind of excited about that. So he's been, Gazim, everybody give it up for Gazim. Like, I'm so proud of this dude. Every morning, he's like consistent posting every morning, his work and his routine. And so I'm curious, you know, I'm being a little selfish. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, because we're about to do something that we haven't done in a while, because I've done nothing but focus on you guys on these calls, but I want more people in our community. I got a little fired up and pissed off the other night. There's a whole bunch of influencers like going off about do this, do that, and they're just distracting the masses. And so I'm about to dump tens of thousands of dollars into marketing and fill this academy back up with people that truly want results. And so I'm curious about what you guys have learned over the last 2 years, whether you've been with me for 2 years. Absolutely, Amanda, we can do that. Shoot me a quick email with the lead address and phone number if you would. I'd appreciate it. To the Bryce email, that you got that, you know what time it is. But I'm curious if we could, you know, just 3 of you share with me like your biggest nugget, your best result that you've had just working with our academy, whether it's me or my team, or maybe it's something you learned from the academy members and just networking in here. If you would, 3 of you, I'd appreciate if you would share. Don't everybody go at once.
Well, for me, I would say hats off to Gazim, because he's actually encouraged me to get my fat behind out of bed on a consistent, because I know that he's up there doing it, so I gotta step up and do the same thing. So hats off to him. As far as what I've learned in the academy thus far, I think I've been here since maybe July, August, or something like that. Is repetition. Is repetition. You trust the process. You got the script working properly. You got it all dialed in, and you where it's like there's there's the simple steps in order for us to wholesale the deal, and at the end of the day, whether it's you that's speaking that or it's another coach out there speaking that, it's the same steps. But the difference is you focus on the communication portion of it, and that's the most important part, because anyone can go through the motions, but it's how you actually approach with the NLP and with your script, and you stick to the script, you trust the process, and you know that you have results. And that's it. And truth be told, I actually got involved because you did 6,000 transactions. That's why I want to surround myself with someone that's actually making shit happen. You know, I don't want to be wasting my time with somebody that, oh, yeah, I know how to wholesale deals, but there's no results there. You got the stack of checks to prove it.
I appreciate that. And that's one thing that means a lot to me. Thank you, Mike, for sharing that. You know, I haven't showed my Lambos. I haven't showed checks. I don't feel that that's the most important thing. And I appreciate that you recognize that. So thank you for that.
Anytime.
You know, part of this is, I told you guys it was selfish. I'll just be transparent. Like, there's some members of my team that have been stressed out, and they're not on this call, so you're not going to embarrass anybody, right? They won't ever see this call, but I intend to chop this up and piece it together for my team, and they need to hear this stuff. They need to hear this and what the impact, even behind the scenes, that they have. And so, Mike, I appreciate you sharing that. Anybody else want to share kind of their experience?
I got you.
Appreciate you, McLean. Go ahead.
So I joined the academy, I think July or August of 2019. And that's actually how Larry and I met. Is this guy actually reached out to me, and he lives like 40 minutes away, 30, 40 minutes away. And he was like, hey, I see you're in the area. Can I come door knock with you? Or like, can I just watch you? And so like, for me, I'm so used to being a lone wolf. And we rolled up to a couple properties, started door knocking. I was like, okay, well, I actually have to do this now. Like, I have to actually show him and like have the confidence in there. But over the past couple of months, Larry and I, we're trading shot for shots. I mean, I know after it, Larry was like, hey, I really appreciate the time. And I appreciated his time to come out there and like put me on in the hot seat and actually go and execute. But I mean, Larry's killing it. Like, he's getting contracts every other week, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to trade shot for shot for you. Like, we're going toe to toe in like a good competitive way. Just working on the business. That's the main thing. So we can enjoy our time with our family. Like, you've got to put in the work to get to that process. And I remember Larry and I had a conversation. I know he's probably okay with this one, but he was like, hey, what's your, like, why do you do this? And I was like, because at the end of the day, putting in the work now and putting in these results with the academy means I'll have freedom and time with my family.
Love that. I love that. I appreciate that. Notice, you guys, it's the consistency, right? Like what Mike said, what McLean said. Like, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just more consistent. And that's what I want you guys to recognize. And I'm so honored that you both realize that. And that's what you shared as part of your experience. That means a lot to me, McLean. Mike, thank you for that. Larry, I'm curious. I'm going to put you on the spot, bro, but you got to get
I was going to say I'm next.
What's that?
I was going to raise my hand. I said, I'm next.
I appreciate
Brad,
it.
tell about your sub-2 deal in McKinney.
No, what I want to hear from about Larry, because I think this will help everybody, not just my team members, not for marketing, not for anything, but I think this will help everybody right now. Larry, when you and I met, we met on a friend level first, right? Like, we went to a men's Bible study, and then I started going to church with you, and then you got in the academy because, oh, by the way, you're also doing this. But I'm curious, like McLean said it best, now your consistency has showed results. And I'm curious what your take is on that based upon where you were a year ago to where you're at now.
Yeah, man. I mean, all glory to God, you know. I'm a believer, and my faith goes first, my family second, you know, and I just feel like what REI results is all about that as well. You know, knowing the top guy, you, Bryce, coach, you know, put faith first and put, you know, your academy members as well as priority. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how many people I talk to out there that paid for coaching and paid $15,000, $45,000, and they get a text or call every once in a blue moon. You know what I'm saying? We get 2 calls an hour each and every week. So that's just my hats off to you right there, Bryce, you know. And not only that, brother, I mean, you know, the consistency, the consistency could not be there. The results could not be there if my coach or my leader or my guy who's teaching me is not consistent as well, right? I mean, for me, I can follow guys and I can support them if they're walking the walk like they talk. You know what I'm saying? And for me, man, beyond the success, beyond what I've done so far, and you know, I've been able to be blessed by closing some deals, and I was blessed to even keep my wife at home, and I'm just working out and being the breadwinner and allowing my kids to have their mom at home. That's huge, bro. You know, and on top of that too is the fact that, you know, I could say I'm not sure about you, Bryce, but I could say I made a friend for life. You know, I can call him for a barbecue. I can come over for a bowl of pho, whatever it is, and I can call him at a time where I'm down. And I remember one time, you know, I had a 911 and I text Bryce and he was like, hey, bro, I'm on a call, but I'm gonna call you right back. You know, and he did. You know, and that just made me, you know, like, hey, you know, this guy is a real deal. He cares about us, not just about a mere $5,000 that we paid, but it's above and all that. You know, so, bro, I mean, my gratitude, my appreciation to you is more than I can express in words.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Larry, our friendship goes much deeper than this academy. You already know. I appreciate you, man. Your family is my family, and that's one of the things I'm most proud about you guys. Like, I love seeing the wins. Like, for, you know, a year ago when Larry got into this academy, like, he was stressed out. He's working 2 jobs. His wife is working. And to be able to have your wife come stay home with you, like, that's a huge feat. to be able to have your wife like help you tweak your business, that's a huge feat, right? So, you know, to be able to hear those stories, I mean, look at James. Like, James is so busy, he can't even get on the calls anymore. He got the freaking President's Award sent to the Bahamas, and within a month of being in the academy, he quit his job. And now he's so damn busy, he doesn't even show up on the calls, right? Like, I'm not mad at him. He took it, ran with it. So I love hearing those stories, and I know that my team does too. And so I appreciate all of you guys for sharing. So with that said, we're about 25 minutes in. I want to dig into some content. I want to hear some questions, and we got some leads to call for Amanda and Gazim. So we're going to do that. But before we call these leads, anybody have any questions, some issues, some challenges in their business that they need to work on right now? Come on, man.
Hey, Bryce.
Okay, go ahead, McLean.
Quick question. With everybody being at home, are you finding yourself going call heavy or text heavy?
I'm calling them
all time?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't get dude off the phone. Did 5 yesterday, got 2 today. Like, I got 7 in the last 24 hours. My ear is like on fire right now.
That's a good problem to have.
My phone next to me, because I'm usually in meetings. Like, I brought the charger up to my office because it's dying on me throughout the day. Get on the phone. You know, like my friend Brent Daniels says, like, talk to people.
TTP.
You know, talk to people. Pick up the phone, call them. As soon as you get that message in your text response, pick them up and call them. You get that message in your inbox from your Facebook post, pick them up and call them. Yeah, that's a great question, McLean. Call them. I mean, this guy here, I wish I would have caught the first part of the call. The guy that I just got off the phone and closed while you guys were all jumping on, like, he was in a Zoom conference call doing some continuing ed classes. He's like, I've been doing this for the last 2 days because I've been supposed to doing it for 6 months and da-da-da. I need a break. I'm glad I could give you a break, bro. Take a break and hit pause on your training class. Gazim, I know you know what I'm talking about because he's in your field. That tech training class, he went click, he paused it, and he jumped on, and I just bought his condo over in North Dallas, you know? Yeah, call him. That's a great question, McLean.
All right, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Being that you got so much time, and I know that you're crazy in regards to your schedule, what's the best way to budget your time? Put yourself on a time budget to make sure that you're being the most effective. And of course, I went old school this week. I got the old the old box with the 1 through 31 and the January through December. And I'm just gonna make cards, and I started hitting the phone this week, so I'm happy. It was good. Today was a good day. Got a hold of a bunch of people.
So Mike, like you, I'm a little old school. I'm not very tech savvy, right? Thank God for an amazing team, number one. Thank you, Shannon and Brandon, for being on here and being like my right and left arm. But, you know, I'm old school like you, right? Like, I still pull out my daily sheets. You guys have these in the academy. I fill them out every Sunday night. I see you, lady, right? I fill it out every Sunday night. And then at the end of my day, I grab one of these and say, what did I actually do? And I look at it, had a great day, or I need to get some stuff done tomorrow, you know? And I throw them away. Here's my garbage, my trash. I throw them away. But as long as I'm moving my stuff over to the next day and putting it in the appropriate spot, right? I'm holding myself accountable, number one. Number two, I also need to inform my team, right? So I've got everything color coded and down to a precise minute. So if you looked at my calendar, as I share my calendar here, you'll see, my group coaching. This is all my academy stuff, whether it's one-on-one or one-on-one on Fridays. And then, my one-on-ones are group coaching on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then every day you can see from 3 to 5 I'm prospecting with my team, and it just depends on where it's at. So like on Wednesday, I move it down from 4 to 6 instead of 3 to 5. Otherwise, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, it's 3 to 5, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Wednesday it's 4 to 6, right? That's the only thing different. And that's because you'll notice across the board, I'm training my acquisition team. I'm hiring like crazy right now. And then I've got spots for admin. So they're color coded based upon what they are. So there's admin tasks, there's income producing activities, you know, the green ones, there's the orange ones that are my academy coaching calls with you guys. But I think the most important thing on here that you guys may not have caught, let me go back and show this. Because what we're going through in the influx, I've got some more work in here, but you notice at 6 o'clock every day, I've got unavailable. And my family knows between 6 and 6:30, there's a buffer I may go over, but 6:30 is an absolute must. But at 6 o'clock, I put unavailable. So nothing can get scheduled unless I manually schedule it. Now, this virtual happy hour, that's with Steve Sims, right? Like I have to go meet that guy. He's one of my mentors, pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to be in his mentor group, you know? But some of these things I have to have on here. My Bible study from 7 to 8 every Wednesday. But otherwise, it's cleared up. My family time, notice that Saturday, Sunday, nothing goes on. And so what I mean by that consistency is sticking to the expectations that I've set for everybody else and holding myself accountable to that too. So my team knows like, hey, I'll answer your call. You guys know I've done it for you. I'll answer your call if I can, or my commitment to you is call you back within an hour. And Larry sent me pictures of fuss, so it's like 3 hours later today. So that's his fault. No, but Saturdays, Sundays, like I will not schedule anything on those days. And I just stay within my parameters, right? Those expectations and boundaries. So that's what keeps my team and my organization and the organism operating smoothly. It's time blocking specifically. Now, to get a little bit more specific, Mike, to answer your question more specifically, because this is the biggest nugget for you guys. I prospect. Right now I'm prospecting every day, and that's because I'm training acquisition people. But I prospect normally, or I have my acquisition team prospect Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 5. And then in the mornings doing follow-ups and offers. Every day, follow-ups and offers Monday through Friday, outbound prospecting Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 5. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's specifically for follow-up. So the triple ripple, right? Because once you've worked this business a month and a half, you've got plenty of people to follow up with. And so any of those scheduled appointments or follow-ups that I need to make, I only move them to Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if I talk to you today, you know, what's today, Thursday? I'm going to talk to you on Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And then it's going to go out follow up once a week. It's going to go Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. Okay. If I talk to you on Tuesday, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'm going to go out a week, Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. If I catch you on Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to go follow up Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday.
Now, do you think that the 3 to 5 that's just the best time to get a hold of people that you found?
No, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter. To me, when can you go and get coffee from Starbucks? Whenever Starbucks is open, that's when I'm open, right? If that's the case, I want people to work within my parameters. And so I can only work with people that are serious about working with me. So it's my schedule. If they call me back and it's 6 o'clock, well, guess what? I'll call them tomorrow in my follow-up time block.
Yeah. But you found that 3 to 5 is the best time to get a hold of people. That's why you prospect from 3 to 5 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or it just doesn't matter?
I found that most of my meetings and my masterminds and things like that are between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. And so I take a brain break between 1 and 3 sometime, just depending on where and how it fits. Like today, my brain break was at 2:45. I literally got 15 minutes. I just walked outside. I checked my mail. I got some fresh air. But 3 to 5 is just what I've set because that's what I set. It was more productive for me to have my networking, masterminds, and admin calls in the morning to get it knocked out so my team can go off and do their thing. You know, when I talked to Shannon last, it was it was at 3 o'clock. I said, all right, Shannon, I love you, lady. I got to take a brain break. I will see you at 5 o'clock. Okay. Because I knew she'd be on this call. And that's because the first half of my day, other than our academy calls and our mentoring calls, everything else being administrative, I knock it out first thing in the morning. That way my income producing activities can get a fresh start. Otherwise, I mean, when I was partnered with my previous partner before I, started coaching, I was prospecting in the morning. To be honest with you, I wanted my first freshest call to be from 10 a.m. to noon. That was how I time blocked it back then. It didn't matter. And that's where I did the vast majority of my 7,362 closing or 64 closings now over the last 7.5 years. The vast 99% of them was prior to a year and a half, 2 years ago in my non-compete. And that was between 10 a.m. and noon. People are motivated. They'll pick up the phone or they'll call you back. And that's the way I look at it.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I get fired up because I get excited like when there's nuggets and results. So you can tell me to simmer down, coach. No. But yeah, so time blocking Monday, Wednesday, Friday for cold prospecting and marketing and things like that. Tuesday, Thursday for scheduled follow-ups. And then Monday through Friday, triple ripple wherever it falls, and then offers, I'm usually making those in the morning. So, if McLean's my seller, right, I'm calling. If I just talk to dude, like I just told him I would type up and call him, bro, I'm not going to get to him tonight. I'm going to type it up. I'm going to have it ready. And first thing in the morning, I've got an appointment at 10 a.m. No, I've got an appointment at 9:30 and then 10 o'clock. And then I've got a meeting with my wife. And then I got a meeting with Kazim. I'm not going to call this guy till about 1:30 tomorrow. I'll call him at 1:30 with my offer because everything else is prioritized, right? Like if I get it, I get it. I don't stress about that. Even when things are stressful, I'll get to it when I get to it. Everything else, the income producing activities, I time block it out. So this guy here, he'll get a call right there about 1:30, which is where I have my offers set in there to be made.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just depends on how long Gazim takes up. If he stresses me out, man, I might have to take a break.
Awesome. I wanted to add a few inputs, right, to the reason why this academy has been so good for me is because of the consistency as well and the value of the conversations, right? The RAC, repeat, acknowledge, question. Even that's been useful for me in my own personal workplace as well. It's a way of listening, active listening, and not just trying to speak, but actually listening and then responding based on what the person's actually saying. So that's been very valuable to me as well. The way you structure your conversations, they're very engaging. And it was also fun playing role play with you last week. Was it last week we did role play? Yeah. So it's been a good learning experience for me as well.
I love it. Do you get your virtual background set on, bro?
Yeah, but it seems a bit distorted.
Where is your shoulder right now? Out on the beach? What is that? I love it.
That was like a flag or something.
Yeah, it's like the beach, Venice Beach, something like that. So in Italy, not California. So yeah.
I like it. These are great questions, y'all. I appreciate that, Gazim. Thank you for sharing.
Well, see, even with the rack, once you hear the way that you present a conversation and stuff like that, you look at other people's sales pitch or you look at other people's conversations and you start being critical of what they're doing. And and see, oh, well, this guy should have actually developed some more rapport or what have you. You know, at least that's what I do. I appreciate a good salesman, you know, so when you hear somebody, you're like, oh, well, maybe you should have done it this way, or maybe you should have done that way. But, you know, people don't want to be criticized either. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting you guys talk about that, because training my acquisitions people today, one of them is like, man, I'm so excited. I went out, I got the Jordan Belfort straight line, da, 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 da. I'm just like, man, that's like for the natural, the one needle in a haystack that understands what's really being done, but it doesn't work very often. I'm just going to call it like it is, because his talent is so much higher than 99% of us. He can't teach what he does.
comes natural.
What's that?
Comes 100% natural. It's authentic.
Yeah, it's things like that. Like, he hasn't had somebody extract it to a teachable method. I've read his straight line. It's amazing, but it's not teachable. It's not coachable, right? And that's what I love about the difference in, you know, rack. Like, he does do rack, but he doesn't understand what he's doing, and he doesn't communicate that. So that nugget right there is left out, and now you're wondering why you're not having the results that he has, right? One of the things that he's commonly noticed saying is, can we agree? Well, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, I'm sure we both can agree. You know, and people miss those little things because people don't want to be wrong. People want to be like other people. And so when you say that, right, that is a little bit more effective than, can we agree? Da, 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 da. Like, and that's all that most people hear. So it's things like that. That's not teachable. That's not coachable, because that's not normal language. But when you sit down with your friend or your son or your spouse, you care about them. You ask about what they're interested in, right? And that's what RAC does. Go ahead, Wade. I seen you unmuted. Come on in, brother.
No, I'm just listening.
Boomer right there.
I was
One of my
gonna-
OGs right there. I'm waiting for him.
That's all right. I was going to be a smart ass and start mirroring you.
Start mirroring me.
Can
Why
we
would you
agree
do that
on?
now?
Can we agree on?
Speaking of RAC,
Help me understand.
yeah, help me
Speaking of
understand. Tell me
RAC.
more about that.
That must be frustrating.
And I love that we can joke like this. Y'all ready to call some leads?
Yeah.
Send it.
Anybody else got any other questions? I'm gonna get through.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You ever push somebody to close? I got a contract on another property, and the guy balked. He took out a loan for paying some taxes, and then he balked, didn't close. I took over affidavit of heirship paperwork and stuff like that. And so literally I'm like, you know what? This is the only house that I've filed a memorandum on, but I'm filing it. So I called my attorney and had him file the damn thing and send over a demand letter. But obviously a judge ain't gonna make him sell his damn house. But, you know, ever dealt with a situation like that and had any luck if you put any pressure on him?
It's interesting, Wade, because that's a very similar conversation to what I just had with Larry, right?
Yeah.
Larry's in a situation where his seller, it's a great deal. His seller absolutely needs to sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
But they lied to him and said that they were just transferring from one person to the other, keeping it in house so they didn't go into foreclosure. But we don't know that it's a lie. That's just kind of what we felt. And so I'm always a person that's going to dig in deeper and ask better questions. So the questions I told Larry was, you know, one, you feel like she lied to you. I would ask the title company, because you built a rapport, like, who is this new contract with? But they can't tell you. So we don't ask who is the contract with. We just say, will you let me know this? Is the house at least staying in the house for everybody's greater good? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is at least the mom going to buy it from the daughter or something like that, quote unquote, over the phone? I would say, quote unquote. So that way everybody's in a better position and it doesn't get foreclosed on. Well, guess what? Larry did. And you know what they said? Oh yeah, no, but she just got another buyer. In that case, hell yeah, I'm going to go in and I'm going to push for my contract to go through. In your case, I would have to ask better questions. Why is he saying that he's not going to close?
Well, because I think frankly he's in denial. He got the acceleration of the loan letter from the company he borrowed to pay property taxes, and he's like, well, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I would dig in deeper. I mean, if he thinks that he's going to be able to save his house and he's going to stay there and he's truly serious about staying in his home, like that's one of those moral things, right? Like, do you want to kick somebody out to the street? No, I'm not in that business.
No.
Yeah, and I know you're not either. So that if that's the case, like, hey, I filed this memo just so I would just be honest with them. I filed what's called a memorandum. So when you do decide to sell the house, I've got time invested in, time and money invested in this and a team I have to pay. And I took them away from one job to another. So I just want to be honest with you. When you do sell, I just ask that you give me the first right so we don't have to end up back in court for the time that I've got invested. So I put a memorandum on your house.
Yeah.
And then he's going to say, yeah, that's fine. And when he does, great. 10 years from now, you'll get a phone call. Hey, Mr. Vanderboom, you want to clear this up? Sure. $5,000.
Yeah.
Or you have the first right to decision and say, I'd like to buy that house.
20.
Exactly.
20.
20.
Hey, just real quick, going back to that phone call with the title company. So I called them at 4:56, about 4 minutes to closing. I'm not sure who this person is who picked up the phone, but they actually gave me the buyer's name and everything.
Woo.
So I was able to look that person up, and yeah. I was feeling bad all day, but now I feel good about it.
Yeah, man.
I had a seller tell the title company that it was a forged signature. That it was a forged signature, so that's funny.
That's why that contract says there's no duress.
Yeah. So.
Paragraph 1, page 2, baby.
It'd be
I didn't
interesting.
twist your arm, or no, page 3. I didn't twist your arm, get you drunk, or push you into this, right? Okay, great. Go ahead and click that button right there. That's how I present that page.
Yeah. No, we did in person.
Even better. Strong armed him. Tony threw him down on the counter. No.
So I'm curious. So Tony, what's your next step after that? What do you do?
Hey, give me a second. Hold on a second.
Okay. Has that ever happened to anyone? If the seller says,
I've had the same thing happen. I can tell you what we did. Like, we just basically asked deeper questions, kind of like what I just went through with Wade. Why is he saying that? Is he just trying to come up with a reason to get out because he needs to stay in the house? Like, we tried to figure out what that was. We actually ended up finding out that he sold it to somebody else. And because of the reputation that we have in Dallas, like with our buyers, it's like, hey, we've got this contract. We can go toe to toe, or we could just take over, right? And if I said any names, you guys would all know here in the Dallas market, very reputable guy, or a gal, I should say. I'll just say that, a very reputable gal. And who she learned from was actually somebody that we trained. And she went ahead and just released the contract and told the sellers, hey, I can't do this. That's actually a really good company. And I'll say her name because her name's Jamie Woolley. Like, she had a contract, and I'm like, hey, we got a contract. And you know what? She said, hey, you guys got it first. And that's the type of relationships that you work with your buyers, your end buyers. And when you do, that's because you're bringing good deals to them. They'll honor that. The ones with integrity and truth that you want to work with, they will honor that. And her and her team we ended up actually, ironically, like a month later, had the same thing happen where we got a contract and they had a contract and they got it first. I'm like, see, it goes full circle. Here you go. You know, so that's what we did. We ended up backing out. But Tony, I'm curious if you're available to share what you did. I would like to call these leads that Amanda and Gazim sent. So we've got about 10 minutes here and I need to hard cut at 6. I've got family stuff tonight.
So right now, you know, I called him back and asked him. He basically just said that he didn't feel like it was, you know, he didn't feel like it was a good deal for him after all. So I said, well, why did you tell them that you know, there was a forged signature? It's like, he didn't say anything about that, but, you know, so I'll just wait to see. It's a vacant property, and he had essentially did a contract for deed. It was the one with 2 properties. It was a messy deal because he had one. Sorry, the contractor keeps calling me here, but he has one meter. You know, everything's basically, it's two houses, 2 different lots, 2 houses, 1 meter. So 1 plumbing, 1 electrical, you know, so everything had to be separated. And, you know, I told him it's going to cost money to get that up, Sorry.
Gazim, you and I'm not actually going to call these right now just because of the time that it's going to take looking at these. You and I can work on this tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll talk about this because I've got some training to do with the VAs that we're working with for you guys. And this is one of those cases. And I just realized that now because I saved this for that reason, but now I remember. So I'm going to jump over to Amanda's since we have just enough time to probably do 1, maybe 2 calls. But yeah, Gazim, you and I need to talk about this and it's not a bad thing. I'll explain tomorrow. Okay.
Cool. No worries.
Sure. Let's see. Stuck. Let's go through. Can't tell Amanda's a doctor. She shorthands things. Amanda, I need some clarity around this.
What's up?
I'm looking at the second one in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm not gonna share the address or anything like that with anybody, just because I was already streaming in another group. So I just moved the live into this group. So I don't know who's seeing this right now. I might have to go delete some stuff. So if you're watching this in the the tips and techniques group, you're welcome. This is our Results Academy Thursday Q&A call. This is what we do every week. So Amanda, the second one that you sent me there, he's willing to go 157.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to know if that contract, it's going to depend on the repairs. Have you talked to him?
Yeah, I did. I wrote down, he said basically he thinks that to get the price that's going around in the neighborhood, it would need like a almost complete update.
Okay. And square footage on this, you confirmed with him, is about 1,000 square foot?
Yes.
That doesn't sound right because it says it's a 3.2. Is that correct?
No, it's 3 and 1.5.
It's a 3, 1.5. Is this the white one or the brick one? It is a brick one. Is it the white one or the red one? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. I think it's when I looked at it.
Hold on. It's the white one. Okay. You guys are probably like, what the heck is he talking about? I'm looking at an address like Google Street View right now. That's the second thing. Like you look at the comps and you look over here to make sure you're looking at the right thing. Yeah, so it's the white one for sure. I don't know. Those have got to be some tiny rooms,
Oh, yeah.
right? That's the property there, Amanda. I would say if that is accurate and it needs a complete reno on that, I mean, you're talking at that price point and that square footage, you're talking 25 grand. So that's a great price. I would get it all day. So ARV on that, Amanda's saying, is 240 to 260. Even at 240, if you did 0.65, that's 156 minus the 20, or 130, 35 to 140, you're at 157. I went down to 0.65 just because of what we're going through right now. So you may need to go a little bit lower than that. He's willing to let it go for 157. I would see if you could get it for like 150, and at that price, you got a great deal.
Yeah, I got him down from 165. So
Okay, good for you.
so I'll see, but I don't know.
Well, let me run some deeper comps on it real quick. I mean,
So what sites do you use for comps, Bryce?
so I use MLS after the fact, but I use Zillow based on how I showed you. I'm not going to share my screen. You guys all know how I do that because I was already streaming when I was prospecting in that other group. So I'm not going to share the address just to protect Amanda's deal. But I'm using Zillow just like I showed you guys. And I don't care what any coach says out there. If you follow my method, the rule of 10 with the sold feature on, you can get like 99% accurate comps if you just trust that rule of 10 that I've taught you guys. And if you don't remember, Gazim, we've got a call tomorrow. I can revisit that for you, brother.
Yeah, cool.
Let me look at this real quick.
I'm too lazy. I throw it in prop stream.
They only on that tease, huh? The rule of 10.
I do too, prop stream.
What's that?
PropStream works. I'm not an affiliate. I don't condone or endorse anything because most people just starting out don't have access or can afford that. But once you've gotten deals consistent, like all of us guys, right? You can go
A
get
little
some.
plug there.
What's that?
One thing that
Little
I
flex
really
there.
like about it that I haven't seen anywhere else is the fact that they record all the mortgages, so you know what kind of room they've got to work on. So like I was trying to negotiate a house on another deal, and the guy and the realtor that's representing him was like, "Oh well, you know they have a loan and blah blah blah." I'm like, dude, they bought this thing and it's been 15 years. They ain't got a dime owing on this thing, so don't give me that crap. You know?
Yes, I love that feature too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prop stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They've got a 7-day thing. You can check it out. It's pretty
So
cool.
Amanda, I'm gonna say that's a hot neighborhood. There's some modern homes going in there. Like, I mean, tearing them. They're not even tearing down. They're doing add-ons.
Yeah.
Doing an add-on that just sold last year for $380.
Yeah.
Lock it up. I mean,
Okay.
even if they added 500 square foot and they modernized the roof and put some lines on it, I mean, that's going to be about 40 grand, but they could turn around and sell it for 300. Or they could just do a make ready and put some lipstick on it with 25. And I think they'd easily sell even in this economy because it's shifting over there. I mean, I'm looking at MLS and you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6, 8, 32, 34, 36. You've got 36 houses in the last 18 months that have closed at 250 or higher. And they're all between that 11 and 1600 square foot. Lock that deal up all day long.
So is the 157 good?
Yes.
And then what do you think I should put it out to my buyers at?
They're gonna put 30 into it at 75%. So I would say be conservative. I'd say 265 times 0.75. I'd put it out for 185, 190.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, wait, let me take off that 30 to get there. I'd put it out for about 175.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Gazim, I'm looking forward to our call tomorrow, my friend. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for your time spent with us this evening. If you're watching this on Facebook, on the replay, drop your comments, drop your questions. Thank you, Minion. Thank you, Ida, Brian, Brandolin, Shannon, Tony, Wade, Gazim, Mike, Larry, McLean. Love you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Coach.
Good night.
Hey, 9 o'clock Central Time. We got billionaires and billionaires that have been going live every night, just sharing wisdom and fire. You guys don't want to miss this. There's no pitch. There's no sales. There's just straight fire. 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And
What
thank
is
you.
that? 7 Pacific.
I was on there at 9 yesterday going, okay, I don't see Coach going on. I don't know what's going on. So
Oh, yeah.
10 o'clock,
9
yeah.
Central. I'm sorry. You guys don't want to miss this fire tonight. We're talking about some crazy, crazy stuff tonight. Some millionaires and billionaires just divulging their time. They're part of my network, and we're working on something huge right now. So pretty excited about that. I can't talk about it, and we're not going to be pitching it or selling it, but this is part of what we're doing on the other side. So if you guys can watch us, you can join in on this live right here, this link, the 7501 at 9 p.m. Central Time. So this link that you guys are already watching on the Academy, 9 p.m. Central, click the link, jump in. Dude, these guys, we started on Sunday night. We've dropped probably $200 million worth of wisdom over the last 4 nights. Like, just, you guys don't want to miss that. So if you can, you're up. Come on. I'm exhausted from doing it, but it's changing some lives. It's been pretty cool. So love you guys. Take care, y'all.
Later, brother.
Hey.
You guys have a good one.